Okay, so the goal here is convert, shouldn't close my book. Convert that to rectangular. So let's see, I think this is probably going to be pretty ugly, but see if I can do this in a clever way here. Just kind of play around a little bit. So that's r equals 1 over tangent. That's what cotangent is. And then I go back and I look at my formulas. What do I got? I got x squared plus y squared is r squared. I got x is equal to r cosine theta. I've got y equals r sine theta. And I've got tangent equals y over x, right? Opposite over adjacent. So I've got these things to kind of play with when I'm doing this. So there's probably a couple answers to this. I don't really like having r by itself. So what I could do is I could either multiply both sides by r, although that's not going to really help me because I'm going to have r squared, which is nice, but then I'll have an r over here. And that's not so nice. So maybe what I could do is I could just square both sides. And this will become r squared, and this will be 1 over tangent squared. And so this side looks pretty nice. You know, here's r squared, just x squared plus y squared. And then tangent is y over x, so we could just put y over x squared like that. Not super satisfying, and a lot of the times they're not, because some nice curves go x, y into r theta easily and back and forth, but not all of them. That's why sometimes these polar curves are really nice, because it's a simple formula. You draw it and you're like, there's no way I can get that in terms of x and y. And the answer is when you try, you get things that look like this. So I don't know if we can clean it up much, but you know, I could square this and then I could flip it and I'll get x squared over y squared. So instead of y over x, it's in the denominator, so it gets flipped, and then I square everything. I don't know. Anything more than that's going to kind of look ugly. If you don't like fractions, then I can just multiply by both sides by y squared. I don't know. And any of those three answers are sort of as best as you can do. Trying to get like y equals by itself, I think it's going to be kind of a, you could use some sort of quadratic equation in here and it's going to look terribly awful and have pluses and minuses, which maybe we should have pluses and minuses anyway, but they are captured in here with squares. So if I did any square roots, I'd have pluses and minuses. So I don't know, if you really want to be a glutton for punishment, you can multiply this out and then bring the x squared over. And then you could realize that this is, don't do this, but you can write this as y squared squared plus x squared y squared minus x squared equals 0. And then you could use quadratic equation not on y, but on y squared. So y squared would be negative b plus or minus the square root, what is it, negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared, so it's b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a, and then you can take the square root of that plus or minus, and that would give you y. And that looks pretty god awful. So I would say, you know, maybe just leave it there. That would be my happy answer.
Yeah.